Chronological charts and tables. Introduction 1. Systematic tabulation being the only satisfactory method to eye and understanding alike of presenting biblical or any other numbers. This course has been adopted in the following charts. To ensure accuracy, section paper has been used throughout. The importance of this that, for the first time, it is believed, Bible readers will have placed in their hands a series of chronological tables in the main dated events in the Old Testament, which they can test and check for themselves. As a rule, the chronological charts already available are set before the reader either on a scale so minute that they must be received or rejected as a whole, or else so encumbered with extraneous matter relating to Babylon, Egypt, Greece, Rome, etc., as to be hopelessly bewildering to the ordinary Bible reader. 2. The problems of biblical chronology cannot be solved by mere computation, after the manner of some. Neither must they be dealt with by arbitrarily adopting a particular date and reckoning from that onward to Christ and back to Adam. This is a position that cannot be maintained, as the charts will show. Again, the use of Sothic cycles, eclipses, and other astronomical methods for settling biblical dates has not been sought. On the contrary, any appeals for aid from such sources have been carefully avoided. If the record of the Scripture as to its own times and numbers is not self-contained, then it must be hopeless to supplement it by guesses and explanations as to the movements of the heavenly bodies, used mainly in support of human arguments and assumptions. 4. The position occupied in the Companion Bible is that all Scripture is given by inspiration of God. Theopneustos equals God breathed. Therefore, the record of the dates and periods stated in the Bible are as much inspired as any other portion of it, and are as much to be relied on for accuracy as those statements upon which we rest in hope of eternal salvation. They must be as unreservedly received and believed as any other statements contained in its pages. 5. When it is stated that a certain king began to reign in such or such a year of the reign of another king, and that he reigned for so many years, it is accepted and charted down accordingly. 6. One of the greatest difficulties which chronologers have to face is, and always has been, the apparent conflict between the record in 1 Kings 6:1 that Solomon's temple was commenced in the 480th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, while in Acts 13:17-22, the same period amounts to 573 years, a difference of 93 years. In the majority of cases, 1 Kings 6:1 has been adopted by chronologists as being correct, St. Paul's reckoning being left to take care of itself, or they say he was misinformed or only speaking generally. The simple fact is both are right. The solution of the difficulty is that St. Paul's statement is according to Anno Mundi years, 573, the other on the principle of what we may call Anno Dei reckoning, 480. See the low AMI periods chart, 5811, or 5711. The charts show that, on the plain and straightforward statements of the scriptures themselves, the actual Anno Mundi period from the Exodus to the commencement of Solomon's temple was exactly 573 years, thus agreeing with St. Paul and absolutely verifying the reckoning in Acts 13:17-22. But the 480th year of 1 Kings 6 is also as absolutely correct, only it is reckoned from the Exodus on a different principle, namely according to God's reckoning. The difference in years between the two statements is, as already said, the 93 years of the servitudes. Now, to ignore 93 years in the lifetime of the world cannot be done without upsetting all other dates. Yet this is precisely what is generally done. Understanding that the 480th year as being on Anno Mundi reckoning instead of according to Anno Dei reckoning, chronologers are compelled, in order to make things agree, to handle and compress the figures and facts of the judges' period in the most arbitrary manner. St. Paul's testimony that God gave them judges about 450 years until Samuel the prophet, Acts 13:20. The adverb of time here, translated until, heos, until, as long as, marks the completion of an action up to the time of the commencement of another. Here it denotes the fulfillment of the times of the judges, ending with the close of Samuel's 40 years and the commencement of the kingdom. Compare the use of heos in Matthew 1:25, until she had brought forth her firstborn son. The chart 54 exactly coincides with St. Paul's statement. The judgeship period ends, and the kingdom time begins with Saul in 1000 BC.